I'm telling you, just wait for this. Oh my God. I have this thing right here. Anyway, I'm re-putting in the order because I have to get in touch with customer service, with runner, live support. And I sent through the receipt and showed them what I paid. Usually it's sometimes even more or over. It just means it doesn't match what they have. So it could be a price that's too cheap, or it could be a price that's like a special discount deal. And then they just look at the receipt, and then you ask them to allow you to proceed to the next step so that you can move forward. You have to send them that receipt though. It should be okay. I've done it so far just doing that, and I've been fine. So there's a FedEx right here. It's gonna go in and look around at FedEx stuff. Haven't done it in a while. They're Monday 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Sunday. This is good for riders. 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. That's really good. Saturday's 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. You've got 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Pretty good thing. Check them out. Oh wait, it must be 6 p.m. Yeah, because we're dealing with Friday, so it's past 7 right now. Oh well, maybe another time. I think there's another taco place or something. Nah, there's another CBD kind of thing. It's a King Pipe or something. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and head back. And already got in touch with life support, so should be able to run it through. This looks interesting too. Some kind of Cinex something, I don't know. Then they've got Hot Works, and then they've got this thing called bubble tea. I'm sorry, yeah, they call it bubble tea and coffee. I thought it was Bobo tea, but it's bubble tea. It's express. 11 to 2. So is bubble tea like Bobo tea? It's like Bobo tea?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, it is Bobo tea.
Yeah, it's a boba tea shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Milk tea. French sodas. Like mango, pineapple, honeydew, and strawberry. There's Bobo, yeah, Bobo. Or boba, you'll call it boba. There's coffee. That looks cool. Looks like they do like bubble tea, but it's a boba is what they call it. There's a little round, white, sugary, well, they're kind of sugary. I really don't know what boba tea is, really. I have no idea. I'm actually looking for a restroom, and then I'm gonna pick up the sushi. I didn't notice this Fort Worth Weekly. Looks like they've got someone on the front of it. Okay, so I'm at Lilly Sushi, and they will change prices. You have to take a photo of the receipt. You have to send it through live runner support, and you have to ask them, please allow me to proceed. And you keep asking them, please allow me to proceed. And you have the copy of the receipt. They have totaled the amount. They've usually seen your screen, or you've told them through speaking, and you wait, and then you send the receipt to live runner support, and then you say, please allow me to proceed. Or you don't say that. You don't have to call them. You can just text them and say, please allow me to proceed, which they finally did. All right, we'll be there in 1.8 miles, 8 minutes, and we'll be there at 8:06 for your Lilly Sushi, also known as Lilly Sushi. It's on its way. All right, 4711. She is probably like right there or something. It's probably that one. These trees are cool. Yep, it's this one. These are really weird drops. It's just kind of a weird thing. if they want this. Wait. Okay. So, rock garden. Right, looks like we're going to Regio's. This is the one that reminds me of Breaking Bad. You know, the chicken place in Breaking Bad that's run by the cartel? They remind me of the same place. My friend Charlie Baker was in Breaking Bad. He played Skinny Pete. This one is just called Regio's. It's a chicken place. Pick up some chicken there. They do like this, like, they bake the chips. You know, like the little chips thing, they bake them. And then they do like a pretty good chicken, if you're gonna do chicken, straight up chicken. Breaking Bad fan.
No, dude.
How do you say it again?
Los Pollos Hermanos.
Los Pollos Hermanos. My friend's a Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I acted with him on stage. His name is Charlie Baker. You know who he was? It's Skinny Pete.
Oh, Skinny Pete?
Yeah, he was a friend of mine. We acted on stage together. His name's Skinny Pete. One of my favorite actors is Bob Odenkirk. He's the guy that played Saul.
Oh, yeah, so
They wouldn't let me order over the phone.
oh, yeah, we can't take orders.
That's okay, I'm gonna order it right here. Corn taco pastor, corn taco pastor, corn taco pastor, and corn taco pastor. And it's a total of 5, right? Are you ready? Corn taco pastor, corn taco pastor, corn taco pastor, corn taco pastor, and corn taco pastor. This guy's funny. You gotta get some work, man. You got it down. He was doing this at the same time I was going, corn taco pastor, corn taco. Like a Mexican Coke. His name's Tron Dunn. He's got to get some acting work, man. This guy's for real. Okay, and then yeah, just the Mexican Coke. So yeah, we got it down. The 5 times 5, which is 10 taco pastors. Yeah, that's what they want. Yeah, just the Mexican Coke. Looks like they got 1906 ketchup. I hope it's not the expiration date. I don't think it's the expiration date. I hope not. Regio. Polo. I'm not really advertising this because I'm on a diet, but you know, later on after I lose the weight, they got what's called loaded fries. It's for a limited time though. So by the time I lose all the weight, I'm not gonna be able to go and get it. But it looks pretty good for French fries. Hey man, you get on something like Breaking Bad. I mean, I was on X-Files, but it was just dog its thermal image. Sorry, I'm still right by this Breaking Bad style El Pollo Regio. It's a real restaurant though. I don't know about the cartel, but it's a real restaurant. Yeah, Charlie Baker, who's on Breaking Bad, he's working like crazy. I just looked at his Internet Movie Database. Last time I looked, he was doing El Camino, which is a sequel to Breaking Bad, but it's a movie that they did for Netflix. He did very well. He had a monologue. It was like an opening shot. But he's doing The Mandalorian, Survivor Scout. So Survivor Scout. Yeah, it's crazy. He's working like crazy. Perry Mason, he's done like 4 others. He was also on the original episode of Blacklisted with that dude. The dude that's in Lesson Zero. I always forget his name. Yeah, I always forget his name every time. He's a dude, you guys see Lesson Zero. He's the drug dealer in Lesson Zero. Not Charlie Baker, but the dude that he acts with. I'll find out his name. Yeah, I just found out now. So Charlie Baker is a friend of mine. He's also a stage guy. We did stage with at Hip Pocket. He was in the original episode of Blacklisted with James Spader. Now he's doing The Mandalorian. He's a scout, surviving scout. Or Scout Survivor, I think is what it's listed in the credits. Just found out about the Mandalorian TV series. Herner Herzog is in it. The guy that helped out Harmony Korine, he's in it. He plays the client. So is Charlie Baker. He plays the Scout Survivor. It's a big series, big TV series. You land something like Breaking Bad, you're good to go for life, you know. Sorry, I'm got indigestion. I mean, I did do X-Files. That might help me. X-Files is not around anymore. Neither is Breaking Bad, but you never know. Another thing about the Mandalorian TV series, Mark Hamill's in it. Luke Skywalker. He also plays some weird character like D9D or something. I'll look it up later. But he plays Luke Skywalker. And Nick Nolte's in it. He plays Cooley or something like that. There's all these freaking actors that are in the Mandalorian. I mean, he's gold. He's an acting teacher out there too. Anyway, other thing about Mandalorian, Jack Black is in it. Plays a captain, bombarder, or something like that. Believe it or not, you wouldn't believe it, Barty. Christopher Lloyd is in the Mandalorian. He plays Captain Helgart. Sorry, Marty, I mispronounced it. It's Captain Hellgate. You can smell the chicken. Hollywood. I'm gonna pitch this thing to Bob Odenkirk and Vince Gilligan. It's gonna be a sequel to Breaking Bad. Well, actually, it's gonna be a sequel to Better Call Saul, which is my favorite show. Better Call Saul is actually my favorite show so far that's on television that's ever been aired. It's by far my favorite, by far. But I want to do a sequel to Better Call Saul, and it's called Skinny Pete and Friends, and it's basically a vlog, like a little vlog thing. It's about Skinny Pete and his buddy. And I want to be like one of the filmmakers that kind of get them on contract, you know, that's kind of like a shady filmmaker kind of guy that's on YouTube kind of or different kind of platforms and gets them to get on there and it gets all their drug activity and all this stuff. It's like showing all the stuff they're doing. It'd be like great script. But I might write a pilot episode. I'm still working on Escape from Maine. I have no idea where this thing is. I know it's 17. Probably like right over here. I think it might be that one. Yeah, it's gonna be called Skinny Pete and Friends. I'm actually gonna post it. It's about kind of the advancement of Skinny Pete and his friend, and they're like a team. And it's how they go big and they end up in New York and all this stuff, and they end up all over the place, like Europe and Paris, France, and they're just big time dealers. This one, yeah, it's gonna be this one. You know, they do what they did in Better Call Saul, you know. But I'm gonna try to write the pilot episode, pitch it to Vince Gilligan and Bob Odenkirk to say it's a sequel to Better Call Saul. And you stop doing that Lucky Hank stuff. That's a Mexican Coke right here. It's pretty cool. Pete one time tweaks out, has this crazy dream that he built a time machine so he can go back into episodes of Better Call Saul and maybe even episodes of Breaking Bad. But he has these weird dreams, and it's like it starts off with his dreams, and Skinny Pete is trying to deal with reality and stuff like that after Jesse comes back, and then they move on. So they become like their own independent people. They can have like guest stars with Bob Odenkirk. You know, Better Call Saul can be in, you know, a couple of things, because after all, it left off with Better Call Saul in prison. So of course he probably would eventually get out, because the crime is intense, but yet he dealt with the cartel, and he could maybe even strike a deal with them by turning in some of them. Then they release him from prison, and Skinny Pete like picks him up in one episode or something. This could be just like one episode, and he has to fly from New York and pick up Saul Goodman or James McGill in New Mexico. You know, he's like Skinny Pete becomes kind of powerful. You know, he becomes like this powerful drug dealer kind of thing, and his friend too. I'm looking up his friend right now on the Internet Movie Database. I was in class with Porna Jagannath, and I think she'd be good in it. She plays the doctor, the psychologist, Maureen. She could still be in it because, like, Skinny Pete could need like a psychologist or a doctor or something while he's in New York. And, you know, maybe she moved her office over there into Manhattan or whatever. It could work. I mean, I could write her in too. Porna Jagannath, she was in my voice class at the new school. We were in voice class together. So she could be in it. Charlie Baker definitely would be in it. He'd be like the lead. I'm trying to find his friend, though. I can't find his friend when I'm going through this huge cast list. Bob Odenkirk would have to come in for, you know, special guest. Skinny Pete and Friends. That's the name of the vlog. He creates a vlog called Skinny Pete and Friends on YouTube. Basically so he can kind of hustle his way around. He makes all these deliveries and all this stuff. I'm going to pitch it. I'm seriously going to pitch it. I'm going to write up just one episode. Probably like a 40, maybe 40, maybe 50 page. You know how I am. That's Rob. I always overwrite. Do like a 50 page pilot series called Skinny Pete and Friends. I'll give it to Charlie Baker and see what he thinks. I think he's an acting coach out there. All right, now it's time for me to have some chips. Figured it out. It took forever. I don't know the actor's name, but Charlie Baker played Skinny Pete. His friend was Badger. Skinny Pete's friend was named Badger. So it'd be about Skinny Pete and Badger and his other friends. They help him pretty much build an empire. All right, figured it out. Okay, so Skinny Pete was played by Charles Baker, and I had acted with him on stage. His friend is Badger. Matt Jones is what I'm going with on the name. All right, I just posted my idea for Skinny Pete and Friends, a sequel to Better Call Saul. Good idea. It's on my Facebook page. Include some of the characters. I'd have to get approval from Vince Gilligan. Or maybe he could sue me, I don't know. It's on, basically depends on who jumps ahead or who gets on board. It's a pretty good idea. It's called Skinny Pete and Friends. They start a YouTube page about their empire. Eventually they pick up James McGill in prison from New Mexico. He joins their team. We might could throw, is her name Wexler? Kim Wexler? I think she could probably join them. But it's mostly about them creating a great YouTube show. My dad that I remember, we go to Mexican restaurants. He would always like take some of the queso or the hot sauce and he'd eat some of it. And he would look across the restaurant at someone else eating. I never figured out why he would do that. So he'd always just stay focused on my food, but he'd go, as if someone out there was looking at him. I was very observant like that when I was young. You take some of the queso. The weirdest thing. Oh, gotta go. Being seen for Skinny Pete and Friends. So what he's doing, he's at his computer and he gets an email. It's from Kim Wexler. She's having basically Skinny Pete and Badger, who live in a townhome in New York, drive all the way across the country to New Mexico. You see them driving. Well, first you see the email, and then you're inside the townhome in New York. Then you see them get into their sports car and they're driving. As they're driving along the highway, probably coming through Baltimore or so, going towards New Mexico, Skinny Pete has his phone and he's driving and he's vlogging, and Badger's next to him. And they're basically saying, we're picking up an old friend, Saul Goodman. They know he's James McGill. And then it cuts, and there's prison gates. The gates are opening. Think of Cape Fear. Here comes Saul Goodman or James McGill walking straight towards the camera. That's the first sequence. Right there. So I went ahead and uploaded it. It's live right now. It's public. I want to go with it because that might be what I need to do. I'll tell you why in a minute. Hang on. The reason why I would try this rather than Escape from Maine is because Escape from Maine is like a personal story, and to lift off a personal story first is probably not the right pathway. So I'm gonna try this idea because I know Charlie Baker. I don't know Matt Jones, but I do know Charles Baker is what he goes by professionally. I did act with him. I was lucky and Waiting for Godot. Rob was Pazzo. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a friendship kind of movie. They go and pick up Jimmy McGill from, I guess, New Mexico prison. I have to do a lot of research on the show. I love that show. It'll give me a chance to watch the show, and I'll enjoy writing it. Definitely going to write it. I already got the scene up, and when I do these things, I go back and I put it into my software, which is known as Final Draft. So I am going to do that, but I got to go pick up some, what's that stuff called? It's called Just Wings. It's at Chili's, and I'll be going to your doorstep. Talk about Escape from Maine. Escape from Maine will never be done without the money. It's dangerous to try to make a movie in Maine without money. You could freeze to death. It gets negative 20 degrees in the winter time. And if I really want to make the movie Escape from Maine, or at least the pilot episode, because it could be a series, because I already have 90 pages of it, and it's good to go for a whole pilot episode. It'd never be done without money. You die trying. So let's get the money, Skinny Pete and friends. Throw it out there. If they like it, what's the worst that they can say? And who cares? I get to write it anyway. So it's a big adventure. That's what all these screenplays are. They're big adventures. That's why you hear the typing. So tonight, we're going to write the first page to Skinny Pete and Friends. We're in there, and somewhere in there when I write Skinny Pete and Friends, there's going to be an issue with a handkerchief. And only Charlie Baker, or Charles Baker, would understand the hanky. So there'll be a scene with the hanky. And hopefully if it lifts off, I can send Rob an email. It'd be one heck of an adventure. And I've been to Hollywood before. So we're gonna write that one and keep that in my pocket. Now listen, I've seen Entourage, and I know the horror of just, one script, good to go. I'm okay if they say no. I'm okay. I love writing them anyway. And I can always start something new, and I can always polish up Escape from Maine, and I got 50 others that I can polish up. The writer is at work. Okay, we're gonna pick up these bone wings and drop them off at your doorstep. Basically what I'm gonna do is start preparing the big move. And I've got a long time to prepare. I wanna see if I can launch out by September. That's cooler weather to go through the desert. I'm gonna look into Paradise Gardens. It was actually an affordable apartment. It is in Long Beach, but it's still close enough to Hollywood. The only reason that I don't want to just go with Paradise Gardens is because Diane, when she was my acting coach when I was out there, she told me to get a place in Hollywood. She told me to get, she said, look, Long Beach is far away. You need to get a place in Hollywood because the traffic is so horrible. So I'm going to look for back rooms in Hollywood. That's going to have to be my option. And I've been doing that off and on. So when I went to New York, I didn't care. I knew I had a way in. And that's why I went. And then I eventually found something. If I have to do it that way, I'll do it that way. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's just the way that it goes, But I'll have to see, because having your own place is a big blessing in Los Angeles, especially Hollywood. And they do have, you can barely see that. Here we go, you can kind of see it. They do have people that do have back houses. They do have people that have back houses. So I could run into someone, maybe like I don't know, a grocery store or something, or look online or Airbnb for a while. But probably around September, I'm gonna get as close as I can to 170 pounds. So I want to be decent. You know, I want to look decent. And then I got to do this because, listen, I'm only gonna live one time. Even if I got into a serious relationship, I'm still always gonna be telling my spouse or my serious partner, look, I'm only gonna live once. You're only gonna live one time. And I love the movies. I love music too. My guitar will come with me, but I'm going to take all my original writings with me. I'm going to try to keep that at least. I'll sell all my movies and all my books. I'll sell all my furniture and my television devices and things like that. And I'll even have to sell my LG air conditioner. That I regret the most because that's $700. Edmund, I may have to find a home for Edmund the cat. It would just be too much to bring him. And he's a good cat, but cats only last that long. I could find a good home for him. I think I found someone that might help, at least with Edmund. And they can send me photos and stuff. So the adventure starts now, but we have all summer. And I'm like jogging every day. And I'm working as hard as I can. I'm trying to stay away from sodas, trying to eat healthy. And this new idea is coming up, Skinny Pete and Friends. I like the idea behind it. Because I'd have to tell God at the pearly gates, say, Lord, you gave me one life and I wanted to live it at its fullest. If you understand that, then you can let me in, because I've always figured, if I go to Hollywood and become this great success, am I going to have to burn for it, And that means that all famous people are going to burn, as in hell. But life is just too precious to just waste. And I don't know if God will forgive me. But he should understand, for Jesus Christ himself was very famous. All right, let's go get the wings so we can drop them off at your doorstep. I have to head back in and get the receipt. They got to give these receipts to the drivers, and they're bad about not doing it. We can't do anything without the receipt. And that's the last thing they usually give you sometimes. All right, I'm pretty mad. Hang on for a minute. See? No receipt or email. How are we supposed to do that? I can't even take a picture of the screen. And look, there's no number on this either. We got to have a payment for it right here. And there's no payment. It's not even written on there or anything. And who is this? Okay, I got it right here.